Hi. Welcome to...
No, you have to say hello, everyone.
Why?
Because that's what the script says.
There's a script?
Hello, can anybody hear me? Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can anybody hear me?
Varys?
Yes, I've been trying to say.
We can't hear you.
No, of course we can't. That's why we're here.
Oh, to say thank you.
Yes, to the very generous person who asked to stay anonymous.
Yes, thank you to our mysterious benefactor.
They're not a mysterious benefactor. But thank you to the kind anonymous person who made a very large donation that will allow us to buy 2 new mics.
And a huge thanks to Big Campaign Podcast, who also donated to our Ko-Fi.
They are totally awesome, by the way, and you should definitely check out their show.
We are extremely grateful for the donations.
And to everybody who shared our post.
You've helped us out more than you can ever know.
Thank
Thank
you!
you! I think that was a good enough intro. Welcome to Tales of 3, friends. Let's get back to the show.
Hey!
Hey!
A note regarding content warnings. This campaign is a dark fantasy that deals consistently with topics of body horror, complicated relationship dynamics, emotional distress, fantasy violence, gore, mechanized spiders, mental health and illness, profanity, and romantic and sexual relationships. A full list of episode-specific content warnings can always be found in the show notes of each episode. Last time, Ivy and Alara talked a bit more about Ivy's home in the Feywild, and Alara learned more about why there are no children in Fellismore. Alara talked about her old traveling companions, Penny and Aiden, and also about the annual scientific symposium she would be attending in a couple of months. After their conversation, Ivy found a spell of great interest to her in Onyx's spellbook, so she promptly tore it from the book and ran out of the room, leaving Alara, Norman, and Bea very confused. The next day, the trio went pearl diving, and while Alara and Varys were having an underwater tea party, Ivy was having a panic attack on the docks. When Alara questioned her, Ivy transformed into the wolf once again, and it took some coaxing to get her to come back out. When she did, she revealed that she doesn't always remember what happens when she wild shapes, and that she can't always control it. A few days later, Zath and Nim's son, Ember, asked Alara about her views on science and magic, leading to a very awkward conversation, but also spurred Alara to ask Ivy and Varys for advice on what to tell Ember. They encouraged Alara to tell him the truth, even if it wasn't all positive, and the three decided their time in Ozrin was coming to an end and they needed to move on. We pick up now with Varys deciding to help Alara finish a project.
I think with them planning to leave soon, Varys has a little project he wants to ensure is completed before they hit the road.
Okay.
Semi-selfishly and also for her own protection, I think Varys is going to go and try to help Alara with her jacket. I feel like it's probably afternoon. He's going to leave his room and go over to hers with some notebooks of his own under his arm. There's a little tap at the door.
The door is cracked open, as per usual. So I think when you knock, it opens a little bit more. Come in.
He pushes the...
Who is it?
He stops for a second.
Are you a pickpocket? Or...
Alara.
Yes?
Or?
Do you have chocolate chip pancakes?
I don't have chocolate chip pancakes, but I can get you them if you prefer.
No, it's okay. You can come in.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. She gets up and she walks to the door and she throws the door open and she does like a enter gesture with her arm. Hi.
Hello. He walks in. Says, are you sure I can go downstairs and get the pancakes if you want?
No, it's okay. I'm used to everyone usually comes with food.
Have you eaten today?
Yes.
Insight check. 13.
14.
Shit. Is it deception?
She has eaten. You don't know if it's deception or persuasion.
Damn. Okay.
She has eaten today.
They nod. The temptation to go back downstairs is strong, but he continues into her room.
And it is pretty much the same as it has been. There are projects strewn about everywhere. There's like a bunch of gems that have like taken up the space on the table that you brought up. And like her jeweler's kit is out and there's like dust and she's definitely been like working on and shaving things down. And does she have her book? her rune book back?
Oh, he has it with him now.
She looks at, like immediately, her eyes go to the book and she goes, are you finished with it? Can I, you can still keep using it, but can I look at it for a little while too? Now, maybe?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry I kept keeping it for so long. Not quite done with what I needed it for, but
It's okay.
certainly. I actually brought it over for a reason. And he sets it down on her desk where there's like not very much stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you need help with something?
No, I'm sort of hoping to work with you on something.
Okay.
If we're going to continue traveling together, Alara, he turns and looks at her. Your jacket needs to stop exploding, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm wondering if maybe it's got something to do with the string of runes you were using. So I thought maybe we could take a look at it together.
She starts like nodding her head. She goes, yeah, it definitely has something to do with the string of runes. I just don't know exactly what. She goes over to the chair and the jacket is like hanging on the back of it, and she takes it, comes over to the table and like pushes the majority of the stuff to the edge of the table. I think like some of the gems like scatter to the floor.
He grabs them.
Make a dexterity save. Make
Okay.
a dexterity saving throw.
17.
She goes, oh, thank you.
He's gonna gently take the stuff on the edge and like set them on the floor.
She goes, it's okay. I haven't started on those yet.
Sure, but I don't want you to have to work with broken materials, you know.
Fair. And she throws the jacket like face up. So like inseam, tag up type situation. Mm-hmm. And you see immediately that sewn into like the kind of the space where like you would think a tag would be. So like kind of at the back of like the base of the back of her neck is like a flat amber stone. And she kind of like gestures to it. The runes are really, really small, and kind of hard to see, and also incorrect, probably, definitely.
Well, I certainly don't think the whole thing is incorrect. I have a sneaking suspicion it's only a section of it that is incorrect.
Okay. She takes the jacket and she like grabs Varys' sleeve and like she pulls him over to like a spot on the floor and puts the jacket on the floor. We'll have more space. More space.
He looks at the mess on her table and nods and grabs the books and moves to the floor with her, pushing the chair in for some semblance of tidiness.
Good luck, buddy.
He takes a moment to really look at the mess and then looks at her and he's like, so is the equation carved into the amber or do you have it written out somewhere?
Oh, well, I have it. And she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out like a little notebook and she like opens it, and a quick glance flip through is just this notebook is filled with like arcane equations and drawings of runes and trying to like figure out the right order and the right ones. And she kind of flips towards the end and she goes, this is like my third one that I filled up with like broken and wrong equations. It's really difficult to find any information on this type of stuff. So I've just kind of had to puzzle it out on my own. A lot of trial and error. And, you know, it really does work most of the time.
No, it's impressive that you've gotten this far on your own, actually. I doubt there are many who could accomplish what you have with so little information publicly available.
Well, I mean, I have read about some like theories, and I did find some books in a library once in one of the labs that I wasn't supposed to be in, like that section.
One of the 5 strikes.
She laughs. She goes, "Yeah, it was strike number 4 actually, and I'm not allowed in that library anymore." So
I can't imagine why.
I didn't steal anything. I just copied it after they told me I couldn't go back there. But it's fine because it led me to even further my research. And essentially, and she points to like the most recent equation, I think, and she goes, it's a mini teleportation circle that goes to a pocket plane. But it doesn't stay open and stable.
Hmm.
And she kind of like pushes the little journal notebook towards you.
I think he takes a moment to look it over. Can I make him roll like an intelligence check or arcana?
Arcana.
23.
So you take a couple of minutes to kind of look this over. Alara is like sitting like in the most patiently impatient like silence that you have ever experienced in your life, I think. But you're focusing on this notebook and you're looking at the string of runes, the equations. You notice that it doesn't seem exactly like all of the string should fit together. It looks like there's some pieces that essentially don't belong or that would yield like a different result. You don't know exactly what, but you know that it almost looks like it's two halves of two different equations.
Oh, that's weird. I think he's gonna write the equation out again in his journal and like separate them. Is it the first half that would be more teleportation centered or the second half?
The second half.
So he circles the second half.
The first half, you're not sure what it's meaning.
I think when he separates them and circles the second half, and he takes a moment and like taps the pencil underneath the first half, like puzzling over it for a second. I'm not sure what the first half of this equation is supposed to be for, but the second half is certainly for teleportation. And he like slides it over to shore.
She's like looking over your shoulder, like as soon as you started writing.
He looks up and is just like, oh shit. He looks back at the paper.
She sits back as soon as you look up at her. She had like gotten on her knees to kind of like peer over to see what you were doing.
Yeah, he gestures for her to get close. He's like, it's alright, you can get closer if you want to. But he taps his pencil underneath the first part and goes, do you know what this is for?
Yeah, it's she looks like frustrated for a minute. It goes to the pocket plane.
I'm wondering if the reason why it doesn't work is because these two don't seem to work together. I think you're missing pieces of the teleportation aspect, and this portion here doesn't really belong.
Okay. I mean, if you have I'm all ears for ideas, you know.
He like slides open. He takes the rune book and starts flipping through it frantically, recalling seeing a page of like runes that consist with what she's missing. And he stops at the page and he taps it, a couple of the runes on it, and says, "What about these?"
She looks at it. I'm gonna make her make an Arcana check as well.
Do it.
That's a 22.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I think that she will immediately be like, shit, yeah, those could work.
I think she like takes the book. She takes the book and she starts copying down the runes. I think it's definitely worth a try. And she like writes a couple things down. I don't see why it shouldn't work or why I've never thought about it before now that I'm actually thinking about it, you know? Okay.
He's looking at the jacket now, like the amber part is actually like physically like picking up the size of the jacket and like looking at where the pockets are and looking at the main engraving. Another thought has occurred to me. What if you, just throwing this out there, what if you took smaller pieces of amber with portions of that, with like smaller inscriptions of that arcane equation that you figure out and put them where the buttons are for the pockets that would stabilize them all?
That's a great idea. We can sew them into the buttons on my pockets. She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out like an amber, I would say maybe the size of like a golf ball. And she like gets up real quick and she gets her jeweler's kit. Okay, this is gonna take probably a really long time.
Whatever I can do to help, you let me know.
Well, okay, are you better at like breaking gems apart, or are you better at writing really, really, really small equations?
He looks at his hands. Does he know? I don't know. I would assume breaking things, but...
She hands you the amber with a smile.
Cool. Sure, I'll break it. How do you want it, in small pieces or?
Yeah, we need to get them small and as flat as we can, so that they don't poke me. And by the way, we'll need 21 little pieces for the pockets.
I'm sorry, you have 21 pockets?
So you have seen 12 pockets on Alara's jacket. She's got 4 on each arm and then 4 going like down the chest. And so she kind of sticks her arms inside the jacket and like turns them inside out. And you see that on the inside of the jacket, there's 4 going down each side of the chest. That's 20. And then on the back, right in the back, like where the small of her back would be, there's like a long rectangular pocket. Yeah. 21.
So maybe you should throw in some copper wire into that. Just, make sure it's even distribution.
She nods and she reaches into her pocket.
It was a lot more than you thought there was.
She pulls out a bundle of copper wire. She hands you the copper wire as well.
I think when she hands him the copper wire, he takes it and he looks at her. He looks like he wants to say something, but he doesn't know how to say it. So he takes a second.
She's literally like just staring, like with like a smile, like holding out the wire. Did he take the wire?
Yeah, he took it.
Okay.
Alara, I hope I'm not overstepping. I know this is your project and you certainly would have. I have no doubt you would have figured it out on your own. I just wanted to make sure that you were traveling and you were safe. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really grateful for the help. Because I've been struggling with it for so long. And well, it's just it's kind of nice to just have like it's kind of nice to just have someone to like do projects with,
Yeah, I know.
Varys, make an insight check.
An insight check? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She lying to him? It's a 6.
As she says that, and you kind of like take a minute to respond, you get hit with like this like weird feeling of like deja vu. There's something familiar about just like this moment of like sitting on the floor with another person, just like puzzling out something.
Cool. Okay. I think that he smiles a bit to himself and looks away from her back at the notes, and he's now really confused.
So I think that the two of them will take probably quite some time. I'm going to have us both roll an Arcana check, and then I'm going to have us both roll a sleight of hand check for the actual work that we're doing. So let's do Arcana first. Natural 20. I swear to God, I got a fucking natural 20 for a 28.
That's amazing.
Okay, what'd you get?
22.
22. Nice. Okay.
She's fucking leading the way. Damn. Amazing.
It's like, so I think what happens is like, I think after you give her the information and she kind of sits with it for a moment and they're both kind of sitting in silence, just like working and doing their own stuff. It's just like, she gets this like understanding that like, this is going to work. You hear her start writing like very frantically in her little notebook. She starts like mumbling to herself, just like kind of like under her breath. Sleight of hand. Lucky 13 on the die for a total of 19.
It's a dirty 20.
So I think that after a couple of hours of diligently working, kind of like tandem work in silence, sometimes with the two of like either one of you like kind of talking to yourselves, mumbling under your breath. Varys, you chop up this gem into nice little pieces for the pockets, and as you kind of like, you'll finish one and she'll take it and she'll start carving the runes, just kind of like an assembly line. I think once all of them are in except for like the last one that needs to go into the tag, she goes, okay, do you want to do the honors?
No, it's your project. You have the honors.
Well, but you helped me. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
I think you would have.
Varys, I don't think you understand how long I've actually been working on this unsuccessfully. She hands you the like piece of amber.
All right, sure. Very carefully puts it on.
Yeah. And as you do, I think you watch the runes kind of flash and glow, this like gold color in the amber. And then you watch that gold travel through the copper wires in just like a vibration of power. And then it goes dull. And I think like she kind of like shivers, like she gets like goosebumps. I think that was it.
Try it out.
Well, she reaches her hand in and she takes out her worry stone, and she holds it up, and she's like beaming, like smiling.
Your favorite stone?
Yeah, it's my worry stone. I never go anywhere without it.
I think he nods.
Okay. So now all we have to do is wait and hope that it doesn't explode.
Have you noticed it explodes after a certain number of days, or
No, it's very random.
just whenever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it happens when I'm like more stressed out, but I don't really think that makes sense. I think I'm just looking for meaning and like, no meaning.
Well, that depends, I suppose. I mean, it is technically magic, right? It's magic mixed with science.
Yeah.
So, it very well could be that when your emotions are volatile, your creations malfunction. No one knows how that works, you know? I know that magic can malfunction when your emotions are high, so...
She nods. And then like, she gets like this kind of like quizzical look on her face. You're really very smart.
He looks at her a moment. And he looks away. He's like, I don't thank you.
You're welcome.
No insight or perception check needed. His face is red and the tips of his ears are red too.
Varys?
Yes, Alara?
Your face is the color of my hair.
I don't know what you mean.
And I think with that, they will finish up the project and hope it doesn't explode again, yeah?
Fingers crossed. So, I think the next morning, Varys suggests you all go to the general store. And though we did play it out...
Check our Patreon. Oh boy.
Ivy got Bea a pink harness and a toy, as well as color-coded bedrolls.
Yes.
Everybody color-coded bedrolls.
Yeah.
Everybody got their supplies for travel.
They did. And now as you leave the general store, where do you all want to head?
Alara wants to head to the Science Guild and like check that off her list if we can.
But we want to stop at the apothecary first.
Alrighty.
Take us to the apothecary.
You come out of the general store and you walk out into the streets that are connected quite openly into the town square. See, folks are walking along the cobblestone street. It's quite busy in the area as it is like early afternoon. You can kind of see the front entrance to a building from here. Beautifully carved heavy wood doors are swung open and kept open, and there's a sign out front with some writing on it denoting sales. There's also a sign denoting that the clinic is open today. On the top of the apothecary, it does say Healing Hands Apothecary and Clinic.
Oh.
Yeah, and just like a set of like two open hands with like a little wisp of what you guess to be a carving representing magic and a plus sign for healing.
I think that's it, right?
That would be it.
We go inside.
All right, you're immediately greeted by the lovely earthy smell of herbal remedies and teas. It's quite busy. There's people shopping around the front area. There's shelves outlining all the walls, and there's rows and aisles of different potions, all with signage and prices. There are two workers in the front area with kind of like light brown aprons and the same symbol of the healing hands kind of on the breast of it, and they're talking to customers. You see in the farther back there is a curtain that's drawn, and beyond it you can see kind of like feet running around in there and somebody calling for a certain type of herb. Somebody walks out of the curtain, goes out, walks up to a shelf, grabs it, and runs back behind the curtain. You surmise that must be where the clinic is.
Are we here? We're just here for like healing potions, right? Or, do we need like other stuff for traveling?
I think our main concern is just healing potions. We could grab some other things if we wanted to, but as you guys are talking about what kind of potions you would like to get and what you should get for your travels, in the back of the room from where the curtain is, you hear kind of like muffled, strained arguments. Can't quite make out what they're saying. And then you hear footprints, like heavy boot prints, start making their way towards the curtain. A person swings it open, and they have an expression of frustration and irritation with heavy bags under their eyes. You see a man about 6 foot tall with powder pink hair, sort of cut like Leonardo DiCaprio in the 90s.
I love it.
That's so specific.
It
I know.
is so
I looked it up.
specific.
He's got sky blue eyes and kind of like pale, clear skin, with a couple of scars just like underneath a heavy set of plate armor. He has a helmet tucked underneath his arm, and you can tell that there's actually blood on the armor. It's long dried, and it's quite dented and marred right now.
Does he look like the guy that we fought on the first day in Grimford? Well played.
Make an insight check.
Natural 1.
Alara, you think this might be the guy that smacked Ivy.
She grabs the both of them and like shakes and like points. Is that the guy who tried to steal my jacket in Grimford?
Ivy's gonna make an insight check.
Okay.
So it's a 14.
Ivy, the armor is a little bit too high quality. You're familiar with armor.
Yeah.
You know that this is too high quality compared to the person that you fought in the alleyway.
No, Alara, this armor is actually worth something.
Well, maybe he got like an upgrade or something, you know?
From what? Petty thievery?
It's been a few weeks. I don't know. I mean, and she kind of whispers like, if he got his hands on something like my jacket, he wouldn't be petty thievery anymore.
I don't think this is the guy.
Okay.
Varys, what do you think?
She stands behind Varys.
Varys shakes his head. No, that's actually Commander Elroy.
Oh.
He's head of the guard in town. And as he says that, you actually hear a female voice, lighter feet, charging after him, going, Thayer, how dare you? I was talking to you. Get back here. And Thayer sighs. Their shoulders shrug, like hang a little bit, and they straighten up. Turn around and look at what looks like a mere female version of him, but shorter.
Siblings.
Yes, very much so. Only she's got kind of like diamond, almost glassy blue eyes instead of the sky blue.
Alara, with a 19 on her insight, goes, I think they're siblings.
Jared just shakes his head. It's like, I think you might be right. The woman comes out, kind of wiping the blood on her hands off onto her apron. And she points a finger at Thayer, getting right up in his face underneath. She's quite a bit shorter. She's about 5'6". And she's like, we talked about this. It's dangerous to go in there. You could have gotten them killed. Thayer looks around and looks at her and says, not here. We're not having this discussion here. And she's like, to hell with you or not. You need to sleep. They need to sleep. You need to stop going in there and trying to find the answer to that problem. It was years ago, Thayer. Drop it. Let it rest. It's too dangerous to go deep into those mines. You know that. Especially with the running rampant problem after what just happened over in Grimford. All the monsters that are migrating this way.
Alara looks at Ivy and Varys.
Varys takes a step back.
He bumps into Alara because she's still standing behind him.
He stops.
Ivy looks at the two of you, not moving.
Varys under his breath is like, what is with today? Us walking into weird situations.
I don't know.
Thayer looks over and like he reaches forward and takes the woman's hand and lowers it. And he says, Zyra, we'll talk about this later. For now, I will take your advice and I will rest. Let me know if their conditions change, and if you need anything. You watch as she like lets him move her hand out of his face and like clenches and unclenches her fist at her side, like she really wants to hit him. But she straightens her face, looks around the room and realizes there's a lot more people out here than she first initially thought, looks up at him, glares at him, and says, fine, we'll talk about it later. But I expect a straight answer.
Who is she? I love her.
I do too.
She like huffs and turns around and goes back through the curtain, leaving Thayer to look around the room, nod curtly to everyone, and says, apologies. And he leaves. He walks out the front door.
So now we're just alone in the shop?
Well, no, there's other shoppers going back to their business. There's 2 shop hands out front who go back to helping customers. One of them is finishing up a conversation and heading to the front desk.
Do we see potions?
You do. There are potions lining the walls, actually right beside the curtain to the clinic.
Fuck yeah, I want to look behind the curtain.
Yeah, you do.
Immediately.
Amazing.
I want to go up to the potions and try to inconspicuously take a gander.
Look through the curtain?
Mm-hmm.
Make a stealth check for me.
Oh, no. I have disadvantage. No. It's a 3 on the die, and I think... I don't know why my stealth is +2. It's a 5. I got a 5.
You got a 5? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alara, you go to reach for the curtain, and you move it aside, and make a perception check.
14.
14? Okay. You move the curtain aside, and what you see beyond it is probably not something you wanted to see.
Ooh.
You see that woman with pink hair kind of like wipes sweat off of her brow from on the back of her wrist. as she reaches forward and looks at this guy who has a stick in his mouth. Yep, and she says, "It's going to take a second. It's going to hurt like hell, but it'll be back in place, I promise." The guy grunts, and with a swift movement, she kind of like jiggles his hand a little bit, and you watch as his shoulder pops back into socket, and he lets out a muffled cry. This is a guard.
Okay.
You recognize the armor that Thayer had been wearing. It's a little less decorative, but quite a bit damaged. There is a young goblin. It's like coffee, kind of brownish hair, kept up in a high ponytail, except for like 2 braids that come down and frame his face. And he's got like light green skin and yellow eyes. He's beside Zyra, kind of helping to unstrap the chest plate on this guy. And the 2 of them are working on getting him out of his armor and getting him treated. You see a little bit of flecks of what looks like frost kind of lining the armor.
Frost?
And as he unbuckles the side of it, you see a gaping kind of like wound from like the side where the strap is, that's like ripped through this guy's shirt and like under padding. And the outline of it, you see there's like frost crystals coalescing around it. And he's shivering and he's pale and his lips are blue, like he's clearly in early signs of hypothermia. And he's probably got some really bad frostbite. Around him, you see some people who are dressed in like everyday clothes, sitting in beds, getting treated for less severe injuries or minor things, and some other guards that are lying unconscious, already treated with more severe injuries, much more severe signs of hypothermia, frostbite, and probably some really deadly injuries. Their chests are wrapped. There's obvious signs of broken bones.
Well, Alara is like not, I think she's like so curious that she's not trying to, like, she's literally probably just like standing in the doorway at this point, like in between, like the curtain, just like kind of wide-eyed staring with probably like a potion that she picked up just like in her
to
hand,
hold,
you know?
Yeah. But yeah, there is something happened here and it was not good. You see a couple people in like civilian clothing with some injuries kind of familiar to your own that you got your first day here on your arrival to Grimford. Marks in their shoulders, heavily bandaged and bleeding. There's some people who look like they have like secondhand armor and some adventuring gear as well with similar injuries. Varys is... I'm gonna roll a stealth check.
A stealth check?
Yep, he's going to...
What is this man with pink hair doing stealthily?
He is... was a 16. He is kind of subtly looking through the curtain as well, seeing what's going on back there. Not standing out in the middle of the doorway, but he's certainly looking through potions and stealing glances through.
What about Ivy?
Ivy is standing next to Alara, watching.
Like through the door as well?
Yeah.
I think she turns to the both of them. I guess, they really do travel in packs, huh? And like she kind of gestures to the shoulder injuries.
Varys nods and says, it doesn't explain them. And he kind of gestures to like the shoulder area of that guy with like the side where there's frost.
Do you think he also encountered what we did? She like whispers, Gem?
Oh! You mean the frozen one? The ice one?
Yes.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, why would they have frostbite? It's not winter.
No, it's early spring. I don't think that there should be any sort of weather, even in caves, typically that would cause that.
No. Alara looks at Ivy and Varys, and she walks through the curtain up to the lady.
Ivy half-heartedly reaches out to grab her and just does that. Like,
Ivy's like, no, don't.
Don't.
The one who just set the person's shoulder.
The pink-haired one. Yep.
Yeah.
Pink-haired elf. She doesn't say anything to you, but the goblin gentleman turns around and looks at you. Now having the heavy piece of chest plate on over one arm, is slightly struggling with it a bit, but he's setting it to the side and says, we'll be right with you. Just give us a moment.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just was, curious. Is he okay? What happened to his chest?
I don't see how that's any of your concern. This is a clinic. I would appreciate it if you respected the patient's privacy. Make a persuasion check, Laura.
Oh dear lord.
It's a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Because if you... And he, like, very gently, like not touching you, but like he gets closer and kind of like ushers you out the curtain. Says, if you need to be seen in the clinic,
No.
just give us a bit and we'll come talk to you, okay?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, thanks. And she'll go out. She's not gonna.
Yeah, that's fair. Zyra actually breaks eye contact and looks over at you.
She winks at him. No, I'm just kidding. I think Alara puts the potion back on the shelf. Well, they didn't give me any information.
You know, you do a lot of lying. Why wouldn't you just lied in that situation and said you were a traveling nurse?
Well, he didn't even give me a chance, honestly.
I mean, would that even be a lie?
I mean, it's kind of not. I'm not like certified, but I'm pretty handy. Do you think I should go in and be like, hey, I can help? Maybe I can help?
I don't see why not.
Did you save Scrub?
I didn't think I was going to be doing doctor duties today. She goes back in. I'm sorry to bother you again. I'm trained. I know my way around healing a little bit, and medicine, and so you all look like you're a little overwhelmed, and maybe I can help. I'm an adventurer. She nods her head.
You're an adventurer with first aid training?
Uh-huh. Well, I'm new to adventuring.
I wish all of them were trained in first aid. It would make our lives much easier. By all means, if you can, come on over and help.
Can I make a medicine check on this person?
Yeah, absolutely.
With advantage because I've seen this before?
Make a persuasion check on the DM now.
Can I give her the help action?
Yeah. What do you do to help?
Ivy walks in. She's like, oh, Alara, there you are.
Yeah, hi.
Are you looking at these people?
Yeah, I thought maybe.
I thought we were just going to grab some potions and get back on the road.
Well, I thought maybe we could help just because they seem like they're a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, we can totally do that. It'd be nice to mark a couple more things off of our progress reports.
Yeah, those progress reports.
Make a persuasion or deception check, Ivy. I'm going to go with deception.
I just want advantage on my medicine check because I got an 8.
That's a 22.
Okay,
Hey!
you can have advantage.
18.
18? All right. What were you looking for exactly there, Alara?
I want to know if it does look familiar. Just gonna talk this out for a second.
Mhm.
If it's the same thing that we encountered, right? Like when Alara touched it, it froze her whole hand.
Mhm.
And when Varys tried to rip it off, the like material of Varys's gloves were like peeling off, right? And then the water froze it more, and then the only thing that made it come off was like magical fire, right?
Right.
So I want to look for signs of like, is there burning on his chest? Does it look like there was something applied that made it spread out more? Like, does it look the same?
All right. Well, it looks very similar. Only you notice with your 18, you notice that it's slowly spreading.
Oh.
And as it does, it seems like the person's condition is only worsening. And the source of it is not one point of contact, or it's not something that's been rubbed on. It is directly coming from the open wound.
Oh, fuck. Is there any chance in hell that I would know how to, like, stop it?
You recall Ivy being able to reverse yours with magical fire.
Oh, boy.
From that memory, you think that maybe if you slowly introduce a source of magical fire, perhaps it'll start receding?
So she looks at the woman, and she just goes, let me just confer with my associates. And she grabs Ivy and pulls her outside of the curtain and relays that information to the both of them. And then she says, should I tell them that we've seen it before, or should we just be like, hey, maybe try this, you know? I don't...
No, you should not tell them that you've seen this before.
Okay.
We can say we read it in our studies.
I don't even think that would be appropriate, because if somebody found out, then we'd be in shit. Because it's not written down.
Okay. But we shouldn't just let... If these people are, like, infected with something, right? We shouldn't, just be like, oh, well...
It's not really our problem, is it?
Well, I mean... Isn't it a little bit?
I also can't just go in and start lighting people on fire.
No. Oh, okay. I have an idea. Remember how you wrote like an anonymous letter to Carrick?
Yes.
We maybe later on.
Anonymously go in and start lighting people on fire?
No, we slip back in and we leave a letter that says, "Try some magical fire. XOXO."
Gossip Girl.
Why didn't you just say that it stands to reason if it's magical in origin, you could use magical fire? Because you know fire and ice sort of counteract. Experimental, you're not sure if it will work.
She shakes her finger and nods her head, and she goes back in and she goes, It's experimental, and I'm not sure if it'll work, but it stands to reason that it's magical. Varys, can you come here, please?
Zyra raises an eyebrow when you say his name, and Varys does walk in.
Ivy gives him a thumbs up.
Yes, Alara?
Yeah, sorry, can you just, I tried to say the things that you said, and it didn't come out the way that it sounded better when you said it, you know? And I didn't remember all the words that you used.
He looks at Zyra, inclines his head, and says, I was just saying that it stands to reason if it is a magical ice in nature, and we have yet to discern that. If it is, we could use magical fire to see if it will reverse the effect. Experimental, of course, I'm not sure if it'll work, but it's worth a shot if it'll save his life, right? Zyra nods, like, yes, it is! We need magic fire, though. Actually, are any of you, like, trained in the arcane? Because my magic is more, like, on the natural spectrum.
Ivy looks at Varys.
Alara looks at Varys.
Like, more like a, should I narc on myself, or...
It's just a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
I'm gonna get you guys to make an arcana check, to see if it is magical in nature.
That's a nat 20.
Okay.
For arcana?
Yeah, 22.
I got a 25.
Almost like you two are on the same wavelength. You zero in on this like wound and you watch it. You both get a flashback of the way the ice spread on Alara's hand. It is magical in nature, but it's not the exact same potency as it is the coming directly from a gem.
Okay.
You surmise that you will need to use magical fire, but not as potently as you did with Alara's hand.
So don't blast.
So don't blast it into the wound.
Just like a little flame appears in her hand. I'm gonna roll a performance check to see if she can accurately like convey that like this is as much as she can do. Like she's not trained, but this is as much as she can do.
Okay.
You got this.
It's a 14.
Okay, it's a little stronger than you intended it to be. And Zyra raises an eyebrow at you, amused, but she gestures for you to try. She moves away, and the goblin also clears. Varys goes to the other side of the man with his help and starts clearing off the rest of his armor and gives you space to go in and try to melt the ice.
Does he look scared or does he look like okay?
Oh, he looks terrified. He's like looking at the fire wide-eyed.
I think Alara goes, because like no one has said a word.
Yeah, he's just like walking, he's just like looking between all of you.
And she kneels on like the other side, like
he's also like delirious though, so like I don't think he's really gonna comprehend, but
I think that Alara goes on like the opposite side. Is there like a seat that she could like sit next to him?
yeah, there's a stool you can pull up.
She's gonna just like rest her hand on top of his forearm and just go, it's gonna help and it's not gonna hurt very much, not any worse than it already does.
He looks at you and he nods his head. It's like, all right, okay.
Just breathe, it's gonna be okay.
So Ivy stands a good like 2 feet back from him and extends her arm out just to see if, because she doesn't want to burn this man.
Yeah.
Right? So she's going to do process of elimination and get slowly closer.
It's not quite enough. You need to move closer.
She moves half a foot closer.
A little closer.
Okay, another half a foot.
Okay, so you're about a foot away.
A foot away, yeah.
How do you angle a fire? Directly down towards or just like hovering across? How are you doing?
I think she's going to concentrate on one spot for right now, just to see if it's even working, because if she doesn't want to like burn this man across his whole body on top of, you know?
Yeah.
So she's going to concentrate on a patch that's the thickest and just kind of concentrate there.
Ivy, and anyone who wants to, make a either medicine check or perception check.
Yeah, perception.
I'll make medicine.
I'm a druid that doesn't have any medicine.
I'm gonna get Varys to make a dexterity check to try to get that armor off. And he does so deftly with the goblin's help.
24.
Nice. I only got a lucky 13.
But
Lucky 13.
Okay.
Bingo.
Bingo bango.
Alara, you think you might see lessening? You're not really sure. It's very hard to tell. The light is reflecting weirdly off of the crystallized ice. You really just think that you have a hope and a prayer at this point.
Yeah. She goes, I think it might be working. Steady, keep going.
The man is shaking violently. Not only from fear, but from freezing. The sudden change in temperature is a lot for him. Ivy, you do notice that the ice is receding. It's slow, but it's happening.
She now moves across his whole body and keeping an even as she can amount of fire on all of it. And she'll stand there until it's done.
Perfect. Okay. Some time goes by. Is there anything you guys want to do while Ivy does this?
No, I think Alara will just stay and be giving words of calm and affirmation to this person.
Perfect. I think that while you two are doing that, Bears is going to go around with the goblin gentleman and start helping take the other guard's armor off. The rest of it, anyway. Takes a little while, but before long, you watch as the ice almost completely recedes. And unfortunately, as soon as it does, he starts to bleed out. The ice was the only thing.
She immediately puts pressures on the wound. She immediately puts pressures on. She extinguishes the fire and immediately puts her full fucking hands on the wound.
Perfect. Make a medicine check real quick.
Can we do it can she have advantage?
Yeah, you can have advantage. One of you can have advantage.
I think, oh man. I kind of think without thinking Alara's going to pull out her healing salve.
That's a dirty 20.
You saw the moment that the blood started coming out of that area and you
Amazing.
Put down the pressure with your bare hands. Zyra cringes a little bit, but you think the fire probably would have gotten rid of most of the germs on your hands anyway.
Alara goes, Ivy, you're doing a good job. Just keep pressure.
So I was like, that's great. And she starts you see Zyra go into a bin and start taking out a bunch of gauze and all the materials needed to pack this wound.
Is she looking?
She is, yeah.
Who's looking over here right now?
Make a perception check.
This is 16.
The room of people there for minor things and have more lucidity to them are enraptured with what's going on right now. Nobody is staring directly at any of you. It's just watching and taking in all of the situation. There's a lot going on there.
Can I try to make a distraction so Ivy can heal him?
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm... Ivy makes eye contact, direct eye contact with Alara, and her face is a little wild. You can see mist pulsing in her eyes. She's really trying hard not to just heal this guy right now.
Okay, you can try.
So I think that, is there a tray of stuff close to them?
Instead of sterile surgical tools, how about all of the armor discarded at the side of the room?
So I think that Alara goes, oh, I can help. And I'm gonna drop my my salve back into my pocket, and I think she's gonna go reach for some gauze or something and trip and bust her ass on the floor, straight up, eat shit on the floor, and then just go, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Make a klutz check.
Okay, I mean, it's not terrible. Lucky 13.
13?
Lucky 13.
Okay.
You and 13s, man.
I know.
Most of the room turns to look at you. Most of it. Varys and the goblin gentleman go over to help you up.
Who is looking now?
Do you take a second to check?
Yeah.
Perception.
This is so fun.
18 plus 6.
Nice.
Fuck that number.
24.
Awesome.
You fucking kill it.
You make direct eye contact with Zyra, and a adventurer sitting there watching you fairly intently, enraptured with what you're doing.
Alara throws a ball bearing.
Ball bearings rated E for everyone. So only 2 people. And of course the gentleman who is in and out of consciousness right now that you're currently tending to.
He gets 14 hit points back.
Okay.
I think making direct eye contact with the woman, her hands pulse very quickly, very shortly.
Okay.
I love this.
14 points back to him. All
So
right.
excited.
You watch as the wound closes. The bleeding stops. Some scabbing starts to happen. There's still a bit of an open wound, so he will need stitches.
But he's not actively dying.
He's not actively dying anymore. He's stable. His breathing is only slightly labored, and he's in deep sleep. Congratulations, you two. You have successfully saved this individual.
That was really
Now we
cool.
gotta get the fuck out of Ozrin.
Zyra gives you a small nod in appreciation and says, pats the guy. Her hand was also on him. So she pats him and she says, well, that ought to do it. I'm just going to stitch him up and clean him up and we'll get him settled in. Give me a few moments and I'll come talk to you.
Laura stands up and like dusts off her jacket.
Ivy holds up her blood-covered hands.
There's a wash basin in the corner.
It's like dripping down her arms.
Oh, yeah. And like you look at your clothes and it's there too.
Yeah.
You guys are soaked. This
Absolute
man was
fucking carnage.
dying.
Aw,
Yeah.
He wasn't going to make it.
we saved him.
You did. You saved somebody's life today. So you step back out through the curtain. On your way out, there is a round of applause from the room you were leaving, from the people who were watching.
Alara blushes, but she also looks at Ivy and smiles.
Step back out into the store area. It has been mostly cleared out of customers. There's one or two straggling around. There's currently one person in the apothecary. There was a second, but they seem to have stepped out. This person has light blue skin, silver gray hair. It's like silver gray on the bottom, but like jet black on the top. They have black eyes and little flecks of like crystal highlights on their cheekbones, and also have like silver swirl patterns along their arms and a part of visible skin. There seems to be like this weird breeze that accompanies them. The longer you stare, the more you notice that occasionally their hair just moves in a breeze that doesn't exist.
Is it a genasi?
It is an air genasi, yes.
Hey.
She's just like standing at the desk, flipping pages in a massive log and making notes in it. Sorry, not she. They are.
I guess, can we look at potions while we're waiting?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Potions of healing, right?
Perfect. Yep.
Do they have just regular ones, or?
So they have regular healing, greater healing, and superior healing.
Damn.
They also have potions of resistance. These are the ones that are on clear display. And they have a potion that you probably have never seen before, and it's a potion of lesser restoration.
Ooh. And it's labeled?
It is labeled, yep. They all have the prices in front of them.
What are we fucking looking? I have 18 gold, so Alara's just like hands in her pockets, like, well, this has been fun.
Out of her price range, they are. A common one is at 65 gold. Greater healing is 90. Superior is 115, and you know these to be on like the lesser end of the spectrum. These are the cheaper potions. And then the potion of lesser restoration is 200 gold.
And what about the resistance?
Potion of resistance is way out of your price range. It's 300 gold.
Alara looks at the potion of resistance, though, and just kind of shrugs.
It is like under a sign of like common health potions, like common healing-esque potions. There's a sign on the front of the counter that says if you want antitoxins or poisons, you need to ask the counter because they are a monitored substance.
Ivy's like absentmindedly rubbing her hands right now.
Varys looks at Ivy and is like, did you use the basin at the corner of the room to wash your hands before you left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately.
Varys looks at Ivy and says, you doing all right?
Yeah. I'm good.
You did a great job.
You both did. You just saved somebody's life in there.
I just tripped. It wasn't even that hard.
No, it was great.
Thanks. She like rubs her elbow.
No, it was through both of your efforts that person was even saved at all, so good job.
She nods.
Did anyone see?
He looks at Ivy.
Ivy nods. Only 2 people.
Who saw?
The main nurse, medicine person, doctor, physician, what, I don't know,
Healer?
healer, the main healer, and then like an adventurer in the corner.
Is the adventurer still there?
Yep, he's sitting on the bed.
What's he doing?
Make an insight check.
Natural 1.
Oh,
It's my second one.
you have no
Girl.
idea. You don't know what he's doing. He looks like he's just like looking at his boots.
Alara goes, well, do you think he's paying us any attention still?
That's an 11.
An 11, okay.
On the die or like total?
Total.
She goes, Varys,
Varys is looking over at them as well. Not so subtly at all.
Varys just whips his head around.
for a 2 on the die.
It's actually only a 13. Lucky 13.
Lucky 13.
What a bunch we are.
We are not knowing what this guy's intentions
No.
are.
It's like there's a force field around him.
Mind shield.
The gist that you, Ivy, and Varys will get is that he is waiting for something, and he's just kind of like looking around that random ship while he waits, not wanting to bother anyone. Maybe he didn't realize what happened.
Alara's gonna go up to the counter. I want to inquire about poisons and antidotes and stuff like that. And Alara smiles awkwardly, waiting for the person to acknowledge her.
They look up from the book. They look at you for a moment, look around. It seems like something dawns on them, and they're like, "Oh yes, how can I help you?"
Hi. Did they forget that they work here?
Yeah. 100%
Is this gonna be Alara's best friend?
Yeah.
Alara goes, hi. I am wondering about, if there's any,
Uh-huh.
She like takes a deep breath. She goes, sorry, it was a lot happening.
I heard, yes.
I wanted to wonder.
I wanted to wonder if there was any, like, it says inquire about, like, antidotes and poisons. Are there needs for antidotes? Like, are there creatures here that are poisonous that we might need the antidote for? Because we're an adventuring party, and we might need that if we're going to encounter.
Oh yes. We do have, the basic like snake antivenoms. But we also have a cure-all antitoxin. Essentially, it's very potent. I will warn you though, you'll be a little sick after you take it for a little bit, but it will completely clear you of like any toxic impurities.
Is it like really expensive?
No, we make quite a lot of them, honestly. They come in big batches, so we often give discounts. And we grow like the materials here locally, so I think they typically go for about like 45 gold, but here we sell them for 25.
Oh, okay. And what about like poison? She like shrugs nonchalantly.
Oh yeah, so we have a couple different types of poison. We have your base poison, and then we have tier 2 poison, which is the difference between, I guess, like getting food poisoning strong enough to kill you after a while, and then getting bit by like a black widow.
Oh.
Obviously one is a lot more deadly and happens a lot quicker.
Yeah, how much are the poisons?
Yeah, one moment there. Let me just look her up, and she flips through her book there, as I also flip through mine. So they look up from their book and they say, market price for poison is like 100 gold, but I'll give it to you for 80. They put a hand over their mouth as if to like hide their mouth from everyone so they can't see them talking. But between you and me, you can get a poisoner's kit for 50 gold.
Oh, cool.
And like learn how to make it. So
yeah, that would be cool. I like to make things.
Yeah, you give me that vibe.
She nods. What about the tier 2 one? I'm sorry, did you tell me the tier 2 one?
The tier 2 one will run you about 200.
I will go discuss it with my friends, and we will be back with whatever we're going to purchase. Thank you.
Of course. I'll be here, somewhere.
Mm-hmm. She walks back to her friends. Well, I have no money, so I can't buy anything. But I got the prices of interesting things, just in case anyone is interested.
What is it that you were interested in?
Well, I just wanted to know about the poison and the anti-venom, because they have a note about asking about it, so I asked about it. To see if there was any, like, poisonous creatures around, But they did tell me, and she whispers, that I can just buy a poisoner's kit for 50 gold pieces, and then learn to, like, do it myself, which is pretty cool. I've never learned how to make poison before, and I feel like that's something that travelers do. Maybe, no?
A certain subsect of adventurers specialize in poison creations. It's very handy.
Ones who are interested in making things?
And killing things effectively.
You can make an anti-venom from a venom, right?
I am aware.
So maybe I can make an anti-poison from the poison.
If anyone can, it would be you.
She smiles. Well, it doesn't matter because I don't have any money anyway.
I'm getting poisonous kit.
I'll buy it for you.
You don't have to.
Ivy shrugs.
I'll pitch in as well.
It's only 50 gold.
Ferris looks at you.
Well, let's see what else we buy. We need to get... What are you all thinking that we need to buy?
Well, health potions for sure. We already burned through the ones that we had, so...
Not that we're expecting to be fighting stuff, right? But just in case, they're good to have.
Oh, I think we can pretty much assume by now.
Yeah, Ivy looks at you.
Not that I want to, but, our track record isn't exactly great.
No, we keep stumbling into trouble.
That is true.
I think we'll wait for the head healer to come back.
After a few moments, you see the curtain pass through, and Zyra comes out, kind of like dusting her hands off, has her hair tied back up in a neater bun. It was in disarray earlier. And she's like, well, that was eventful. I can't thank you all enough for the help in there. He would have died without you, so thank you.
Is he gonna be okay now?
He'll live, yeah.
Good.
Recovery will be long, probably, but that is to be expected. Also part of the job,
Yeah, what happened to them all?
She gets a little irritated. She shifts her weight a bit and crosses her arms and kind of like sticks her hip out. And she like flicks her hair back even though it's up. You can tell this woman is a sassy woman. She's like, well, the commander decided it would be a good idea to go back into the mines deep in there, not like the surface level that they usually go to, to just make sure it's clear of monsters so the scientists can go in safely and nothing comes out and harms the people. They went way deep in there where where somebody very important to him and some people in this town disappeared and was found dead. And we have yet to find the reason. So he's been searching for an answer relentlessly for the past few years since it happened, probably wanting to give his child some closure and get closure himself. But it has led to nothing but disaster and long sleepless nights. So that, accompanied with all the refugees coming in injured and the rise in monster attacks due to the earthquake from Grimford, we've been a little overwhelmed. So thank you.
She nods.
That being said, I'm impressed by your knowledge of that injury. Where did you learn that? Or did you just assume?
She looks at Varys and literally snaps her mouth shut from talking.
Varys looks at Zyra, smirks a bit and says, well, my hobby is arcane research, so I just sort of surmised that the opposite of, fire is ice typically, so ice or water. So maybe if heat can defrost that, it would probably have to be magical heat in nature, but... And Alara here is also a little very versed in arcane, so... And
She smiles.
Zyra she smirks a bit, just like, yeah, I'm aware of your strange interest despite your profession, but thank you. And thank you, and she looks at you too. Maybe I should get into researching the arcane. It might help with my field.
I think it would.
Especially as of late, I'm more versed in natural magics myself. She gestures to you, Ivy, and she says, I'm similar to you, I believe.
Ivy nods.
I wanted to give you both a reward for not only your services, because nothing you do in life should be free, especially when you're using a skill of yours, so you should be paid in kind, and also a gift as a thank you. So I will give you a discount on whatever you decide to get today.
Thank you.
Very appreciative.
Of course, so I am in your debt, and so is that guard, and so is my shithead of a brother, Thayer. So whatever losses we have, it'll come out of his pocket.
Ivy smiles wide, and she's like, I really like you.
And I like you three, so shop around. Let me know when you're done, and we'll talk about a deal, okay?
Ivy gives a two-fingered salute.
Awesome. Then she gets back to work, and she calls over. She's like, Sora, I need you upstairs for a minute, please. And Sora nods and follows. She gives a two-fingered salute to you two, stumbles a bit as they come behind the counter, and straightens up and walks after Zyra.
Nice.
So for the sake of brevity, we're going to say Ivy buys 2 regular health potions, and oh boy, I think Varys is going to show his hand and buys 1 greater health potion, 3 regular health potions, and I think he's going to get a potion of lesser restoration as well.
Damn.
Both Ivy and Varys are going to split the poisoners kit for Alara.
Alara thanks you both.
Of course.
And helps Ivy count out the money.
Thank you.
And eyes Varys's large purchase.
Varys reaches into his pack and pulls out what you realize is probably the majority of the weight in his pack. A coin purse and starts counting out platinum.
Ivy nudges Alara. What are those?
Alara's eyes are kind of just like staring wide. Those are more than the gold ones.
There's more than is there more than that one?
Yeah, as she like finishes counting out the money for Ivy, and she goes, well, we'll talk about it later.
All right. I don't know how any of you can keep this straight.
Me neither. It's really hard.
I can give you a chant if you like.
No, I don't really want to know.
I think you should.
I don't want it taking up valuable space in my brain.
All right.
Okay, so Ivy owes 185 gold pieces, and theirs owes 510 gold pieces.
You can split that price right in half for everybody.
What?
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's for partial payment of your work, a thank you, and a fuck you to Thayer. So,
Obsessed.
in your bag, they hand you back a crate, and they put an additional potion in there for you.
Regular healing potion?
Yes.
Cool. I think that we thank her,
Yeah.
and we fucking skedaddle.
She thanks you and wishes you well in your adventures. Tells you to stop by again anytime. And Ivy, as you're making your way out, Zyra puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry, your seeker is safe with me," and pats her.
She smiles and nods. I just don't know if it's safe with that other fucker over there.
Oh, I'll keep an eye on him. Don't worry. We'll have a nice chat. And she lets you go. And she turns around and she goes, "Oh, Drake!"
She's like, write his fucking name down. Find out where he lives.
But yeah, that is your adventure at the apothecary. So you all step out of what you realize now is a 3-story building. So there's probably an inpatient unit upstairs. The scent of herbs and blood and the feeling of slight stress leaves you as you step out into the market square again.
Busier?
It is much busier. It's now late into the afternoon. People are hustling and bustling, getting their shopping done. People are calling out deals from all areas of the market. It is very busy here.
Alara looks at them both. To the Science Guild, whose name I have not bothered to learn because I'm doing really good at my job for the 5-year recently.
I don't know any of the names of the guilds either, so I think it's fine.
Neither do I, so. And I've been here for a while.
Do we even know where it is?
Ivy looks for a giant sign that says guild here.
Guild this way.
Make a perception check, Ivy.
It's a 25.
25? Awesome. So a little bit up the road. You actually passed right by it on your way
Oh, nice.
down to the apothecary. There's a town hall, or in the front of it is a board, and beside it is a map. And beside the map that's carved into this giant wood plaque is a list. And it looks like it's a location list, so you can figure out where you are and where you're going to.
You also see, Ivy, with your 25, you see some other things. By this board, you see a kind of like chubby halfling with like long red hair and very like full cheeks, kind of walks up to like the front. Is it like cobblestone?
Yep, it's cobblestone.
Walking up to kind of like this little area, and you watch as some people clear away, and this halfling is holding like a wooden crate, and you watch as, well, actually, I'll say before that, what do you all want to do?
Duck into the alley and slip all this shit in Alara's pockets.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ivy's in the process of putting a potion bottle into one of your pockets.
Varys literally like stands in front of you two doing that and like ushers you into the alley.
Should we make a stealth check?
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Oh boy. It'll be a group stealth check.
Yep. Oh, thank God.
Hopefully. Okay, I did pretty good. I got a 16 with disadvantage.
19.
Come on, Ivy. Don't fuck it up.
No. Okay. Thanks.
No pressure.
12.
Okay. I think
that's
with
okay.
between the 3, it's a pass.
Yeah.
Bia.
Bea got it at a 19.
Okay.
Oh, amazing. That boosts us up even more.
Bea slips into the fucking shadows.
I think it's less about disappearing and more about like blending and making it look casual. It's nothing to look at.
Alara's like, nothing to see here. No.
Yeah, the most not of this world being is the most casual right now.
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
love it.
Bea looks like a cat lounging. And I will remind you all, you have to go pick up your stuff from the general goods store.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't have to narrate that.
Listen to our Patreon.
Check out our Patreon for that, guys.
Did Ivy tell us about the board, by the way?
Yeah. As we're shoving things into Alara's pockets, she tells him about the board.
So I think as everybody is walking up to go kind of see where the map is, Alara goes, so do you think that like we should have offered to like go check out whatever's happening, because like that's what like adventurers do, right? They offer to help when people need help, for like money and experience and like saving the day.
So typically adventurers only take jobs when there is a reward.
Oh,
If a job is needed, then it would be posted on the board in the town hall.
they don't just do it to like help?
Some people do, but most people would like to get paid and also do some good, you know? You have to make a living.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can check town hall, or the Timeless Tankard has some jobs posted there occasionally.
Well, maybe this board will have some jobs on it too.
Could be.
Why do we want a job?
Well, aren't we? We're adventurers now. I've been telling everyone that we're adventurers.
Oh, I thought that you didn't want to be an adventurer.
Well, I mean,
I thought we were going to go find my wizard.
And your lab.
we are, but we could be like adventurers on the way, you know? Like,
Sure.
how are we going to make money?
Well,
Well,
apparently we don't need it.
oh, joke's on you, I spent all of it.
As Varys says that, you hear the sound of like wood kind of slamming down on the cobblestones as this halfling that you saw before puts this crate down, kind of in like the center, about maybe like 15 feet in front of the boards. And you have watched that some people have started to give this person space, almost as if this is like a common occurrence. And you watch as they pop the top off of the crate, and it looks like they take out what you all would, well, what Ivy, no, what Varys and Alara would recognize as like newspapers. And they kind of take a stack, pop the top back on, and step up on top of the crate to kind of give themselves some height. They ring out a little bell. And as the sound of the bell fills the air, everybody kind of gets a little bit quieter. They clear their throat, and you hear pretty loudly throughout the square, almost as if the voice is magnified a little bit, maybe magically. You hear, "Attention, good citizens and visitors of the great city of Ozrin. Hot off the press. Councilman Safendaris will be arriving this week to meet with Baron Elias and Naomi Venevri. He has made no mention of the grim fate of Grimford, but reports say the councilman himself was spotted investigating the ruins of the town, and the search is still on for the people responsible for the destruction of the town. The Sigi has requested that anyone with information reported to authorities immediately, as the people responsible are to be considered highly dangerous and using illegal magics. The Sigi has left Burnton, and a regiment has been spotted heading this way, though they made no comment when asked as to their destination. Word from Burnton says that registered magic users of all tiers, and they stress the word all, were required to report to Town Hall for signature monitoring, and we can only assume the same for Ozrin." And they kind of take like a breath, and they unfold one of the newspapers, and you'll all see kind of as I'm assuming you're looking, right? Like,
Yeah.
People are walking up and dropping coppers and picking up a newspaper as they kind of walk by. And then this person continues, and they go, "In other news, a trusted source has assured us that readings from the portal in the Shattered Cove have stabilized, and Vitrum is expecting no more aftershocks or magical surges. The guard who claimed to have seen a creature come through the portal has been dismissed of their duties and sent for psychiatric evaluation." And they kind of like flick the paper and fold it and bow and step off their crate, and they just kind of wait as more people start to like take newspapers and things like that. And everybody starts to kind of slowly go back to what they were doing, if they had stopped to listen.
Varys says nothing. Not yet. I think he looks at you and Alara, and then you, Ivy, and nods towards the board with the map. Says, "Well, shall we?"
Yeah.
Ivy shrugs. Thanks so much for listening. We're incredibly grateful for the love and support.
And P.S., if you want more content, check out our Patreon for free clips, bonus scenes, and if you join the Red Robes, you'll get access to the Rainbow Dice Club chat and after show where we talk about past episodes.
If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us.
Special thanks to our Green Fiend Patreon supporters, Jen Bear and Michael.
And with that, our story pauses here for today. Join us next time as we continue our adventures, and remember, it's never too late to start your own.
Bye!
Welcome to our new, maybe monthly, segment where we read your reviews and comments in character.
Yeah, that's it. Let's read them reviews.
Okay, this comment was left by Sakura Fire for episode 15 on our Spotify, and it says, but, I just wanted Alara to read this out loud, smiley face. Well, I read it.
This one is from Bob 1234422526334 on iTunes. Reads, absolutely love, great chemistry and banter. Oh, thank you. I agree. We do have good banter.
I concur.
Mm-hmm.
This was a comment left by 2 Elmas Rush for episode 8 on Spotify, whatever that is.
It's where you spot a fly.
Totally.
So
Fuff.
some sort of carnival game.
Probably.
Anyway, I digress. One of my favorite episodes so far. Can't wait to see how this progresses. V. Adlib?
Adlib. Adlib something.
The ad-lib.
That's it. Sorry, everyone. Wera is still recovering from an illness, and their voice is not back yet. But thank you for leaving reviews and comments and whatever else on Spotify or Good Pods or Apple or iTunes reviews, whatever. If you leave us comments, we will read them as long as they are not weird or nasty. And I will not be saying
we might still read
buts.
them if they're weird or nasty.
We'll
might.
put them on like our somewhere else. But anyways, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
It was lots of fun.
Bye.
It is fun. I want to make an NPC that talks like this.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
No, Mort.
Mort.
Yeah.
Mort
Magnificent Mort.
screams. Mort is like glass in my throat.
I think mechanically, maybe we should pause this.
We're back in the weeds. And she goes over to like the chair, and she takes the jacket off from that was like it was oh my god. She takes out her block and tackle. No, she doesn't take out her block and tackle. Fingers crossed. Hey.
37 minutes. Only twice as long.
It'll go down to like 20.
Yeah.
Oh, are our tents all our sleeping bags are colors?
What?
Our sleeping
Language?
Yes, sure. If you want them to be.
Yeah. Alara's is green.
Mm-hmm. We only got
Varix's
2
is
tens.
vermilion. Oh, sleeping bags.
Oh yeah, sleeping bags. Mm-hmm.
And
Bedroll.
Ivy's is blue.
Thank you
Same thing.
thank you for clarifying that. For continuity purposes, now everyone knows.
Yeah.
We have colored bedrolls.
I think Varys's is red simply because they were like, well, if I get bloody, no one will know.
That's why Varys' favorite color is red.
Yeah.
But listen, I'll take one of them.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I suppose I should probably describe your journey to the apothecary. Yeah.
If you want.
Aw.
I truly thought you were going to say a dove for some reason.
No, bitch.
It's a
2
dove.
hands and a dove.
We don't sell love
2
potions here.
A dove.
And this
Love
is
that
where
word salad that just came out of your brain.
This is where the boards will be, right?
The birds are
the
everywhere.
birds.
Yeah, they work
Okay,
in
the
the
birds are
bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie, yes. The bourgeoisie is going to be on the wanted boards.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
The wanted.
Right, makes sense. They like perch on top,
yeah, they're watching you all.
scanning.
So
Now I have to actually pull up my insight.
It's +4. +7. I don't know. I don't know.
I actually do think it is.
It's +4.
That
No, I
was the
think it's
number that
plus-
was in my head.
I think it's +7 insight. I think your wisdom is +4. So
It is a +4. My insight is a +4.
Okay. You just heal him a little bit. Just heal him a little bit. So when they get there, they're like, oh, it wasn't as bad as we thought.
In reality, this man is full openly staring at Ivy.
In
We just can't
reality,
perceive it.
for the viewers, this man is calculating when he's going to go expose Ivy. No, I'm kidding.
Listen,
I will murder this man
So
in
Varys.
this apothecary.
we saved a life, now we take a life.
Wither
A
and
life
bloom, my
for-
friend. The very
Yeah.
concept.
Mm-hmm.
Wither and bloom. We have to protect our baby girl. Stabilized.
Oh.
And Vitrum is... Oh, bless you.
Thank you.